Namaste. The guidance classes telecasting by the TSAT for Group 1 services preparation. So, every participant know it. So, mental ability is one of the easiest and very scoring concept among the preliminary examination, as you know it. There are 13 concepts, as you know it. Among 13 concepts, one of the concept is logical reasoning, analytical reasoning, data interpretation. In this, we have so many areas like series, analytical thinking, classification, blood relations, and Venn diagrams. These are the various concepts. So, we are discussing all these in different episodes. In the present episode, we are going to discuss about the Venn diagrams. So, Venn diagrams is a very simple concept. Actually, the basic idea for the Venn diagram is to represent the data in a pictorial form. Sometimes the picture tells 10 times more than the given one, correct? So, a picture gives the total story, the total data, total information can be represented in one picture. So, in examination they are giving the picture. If you want to test the logical ability, analytical thinking, logical reasoning of an aspirant, they will use the logical Venn diagrams, and they will learn this in set theory. Actually, in mathematics, so we have a Boolean algebra. So, for the Boolean algebra, we have sets. Development of sets is relations. Development of the relations are functions. So, there are so many kinds of functions. So, a very big branch of mathematics actually. So, the Venn diagrams are using in all, not only in a mathematical area, even non-mathematical area also generally they are using these Venn diagrams. So, now we will discuss what kind of Venn diagrams are there, how to understand the Venn diagram, how to interpret the Venn diagram, by the Venn diagram how to analyze that data. We will discuss with some questions, concepts which is already asked in the previous examinations. Clear? Okay. Now, we will see what is the main aim. The main aim of this section is to test your ability about the relation between some items of a group by diagrams. In this question, some figures have circles and some words are given. You have to choose a figure which represents the given words. Actually, here we are using the word Venn diagram. So, Venn diagram is one of the mathematician. Actually, to represent the data, the Venn diagrams are used by generally circles, triangles, rectangles, squares, like some plane figures, we can say some plane figures. So, we will give the data in terms of words, letters, numerals, symbols also sometimes. So, we will see that how we are going to draw it. Clear? Okay. Now, we will see. Here the question is, if all the words are different groups, then they will be shown by the diagram as shown below. Here dog, cow, horse, these three are given here. These three are animals, as you know it. So, dog, cow, horse, all are different. All these three are animals, but of different group. There is no relation between these three animals. So, we will represent with three different circles which are disjoint. If there is no relation between the given information, generally we will represent with the different circles. Man, woman data is given. So, man is represented by one circle and woman is represented by another circle. Like if there is no common thing, common relation between the given sets, generally those are represented with the disjoint circles. This is a very, very important thing. Now, we will see another. The first word is related to second word and second word is related to the third word. Like So, they have intra-relation, then those will be shown as the diagram like generally we can say as a concentric circles, otherwise we can say as one circle lies inside the another circle. This is the way of representation. If one information is completely depends on the second one, a second is completely depends on the third. So, for example, let us take a simple example. If you take a city, then state, then country, then continent, then the total world. So, if you consider the world will be represented one circle, this continent comes inside it. In the continent, country comes inside it. In country, the state comes inside it. In state, the city comes inside it, correct? Like you can represent the data in a F format, correct? Here, units, tens, hundreds are given, correct? So, unit, tens, hundreds. So, generally if you take it as hundreds, hundreds are formed with tens and tens are formed with units. So, here the unit, tens, hundreds are interrelated. If you observe it, this is unit here, a tens here, hundreds here. So, all these three are interrelated, correct? Okay. So, if you observe the data, if there are three different kinds of things are there. So, one is totally dependent to the other and these two depends on the third. So, all comes under what we are going to observe it. This is the method. Now, we will see another. If there are two different items are completely related to the third item, they will be shown as below: pen, pencil and stationery. Pen is a stationery, pencil also stationery, and pen and pencil are two different things. When these two are different things, so definitely we can represent pens and pencils with different circles, but basically pen and pencil are the parts of stationery. So, when you consider stationery as a circle, and pen and pencil as another circle, this pen and a pencil lies inside the stationery. This is a very, very important, because pen and pencil are two disjoint sets, they are showing that. And if you say for non-mathematics students and the mathematics, I will give a small clue: subset, one word called it a subset, set a subset. If all the elements of one set are present in another set, generally we call it as a subset. For example, if you take it as a pen, pencil you are taking, all pens, all pencils comes under the stationery. So, pen, the set of pens is a subset to the set of stationery, and set of pencils also subset to the set of stationery. So, but pen and pencil are two different things. So, we can say pen set and pencil set are disjoint sets represented by two different circles, non-intersecting circles, but pen and pencil comes under the stationery. So, they lies it. If A is subset to B, I will show with a small diagram here, I will show it. So, when A is subset, this is called A is subset to B, means all the elements of A are present in B, then we can represent it when A lies inside, this is A and this is B, clear. So, this is a very, very important thing, like you can represent it. Okay. Now, we will move to the next. If there is some relation between two items and these two items are completely related to the third item, they will be shown as given below. So, are you understand the difference between the previous one and this one here? Pen and pencil you are taking, those are two different things which are disjoint, but pen and pencil comes under stationery. So, pen and pencil lies inside, but with showing by two different circles, but here in this case sisters and mothers. So, basically sister and mother is a woman, sister is a woman, mother is a woman, but there is so sisters and mothers. Here there is some sisters may be mothers, some mothers may be sisters. There is a common part between sisters and mothers. they are not totally disjoint. There may be some relation, there is some relation, some part is a common part for the sisters and mothers when you represent with the sets, but basically these two are women's. So, sisters, mothers comes in one circle, but sister and mother circles will intersect to each other, small part of it intersect to each other. Is it clear? So, some sisters may be mothers and of course, some mothers may be sisters, vice versa. Similarly, some mothers may not be sisters and some sisters may not be mothers. So, some part is a common part and some part is not a common part. Okay. Now, we will see another one. Two items are related to third item, some extent, but not completely. But and first two items totally different. First two items are totally different, but with the third item they have related. They have related. For example, if you take it, students, boys, girls. These are the three items here. Okay. So, here mostly all boys, if you take all boys need not to be students and all girls need not to be students. So, means some boys are students. So, this area, if you see this area represents some boys are students or some students are boys. Okay. Now, come to the girls. So, here I said some girls are girl students and some students are girls. Maybe a doubt may be arise in your mind. So, generally boys and girls are the students, no. So, now after introducing the open education system, we can't generalize. So, after 40 years, one person may be realize that I want to study. And one more thing, as you know it, every human being is a student throughout his life. He is going to learn always up to his end of his life or her life, correct? So, for that reason you can't generalize every student, either boy or girl, you can't say. Some boys are students and some girls are students at the same time, because here we are not attained the 100% literacy rate. Still some children are outside the school, correct? So, for that reason I have drawn the Venn diagram in this manner. So, means you have to take it as not in a social aspect, but if you see in the logical aspect. So, here if one set is related with the third set and second set is also related with the third set, but first and second sets are totally disjoint sets, then the diagram will be as shown on the screen. Clear? Okay. Now, we will see another case. So, all the three items are related to one another, but some extent not completely. So, they are related one to another, but not completely here. Some. Here I am taking boys, students, athletes. Some boys may be students, some boys may be athletes, some students may be boys, some students may be athletes. So, there is some interrelation between these boys, students, athletes, but not completely. So, this part, if you see this part is the relation between boys and students. That part represents the persons who are boys as well as students, and this part represents the boys who are athletes. This point represents the students who are athletes, like we can say the Venn diagram. This is a very so, here I collected the total information pictorially, because it is a Venn diagram, and in all cases, so I am showing here. So, just follow all these things, definitely it help you to do any kind of Venn diagram problem. Now, come to the next. Two items are related to each other completely and the third item is entirely different from the first two. Then how you are going to draw the Venn diagram here. So, here the things are here animals, that is lions, cows, carnivorous animals. So, here as you know it, all lions are carnivorous animals. the flesh eaters, as you know it, lions are flesh eaters. So, simply carnivorous animals here, and all carnivorous animals need not to be lions, but all lions are carnivorous animals. So, these two are interrelated. Lions, if you consider lions as a set, so the lion set is a subset. So, if you say lions as A, for example, carnivorous animals as B, then you can say the relation as A is subset to B, correct? A is subset to B. But if you say that, if you take it as no lion is a cow, no cow is a lion, correct? So, neither lion nor cow are same. And the same time, and cows are not carnivorous animals, they are not flesh eaters. So, simply, so lions, carnivores are disjoint sets. Say for example, if you say cows represented with C, then you can say A intersection C is 5. This is called null set. Even you can say B intersection C also a null set. So, when they are null set, the common elements is the null set, simply we can represent with two different circles which are disjoint. That is a very important, you have to learn. So, for mathematics background aspirants, it is a very simple concept, but non-mathematics background. So, you have to understand this concept a little by little practice, clear? Okay. Now, we will see another kind of thing here. So, here the first item is completely related to second, and the third item is partially related to first and second item. So, here I am giving the, are you understand here? The previous one, the first item is completely involved in the second, and the third item, these two are totally different with the third item, correct? Lions, carnivorous animals, all lions are carnivorous animals, and these two are different from cows. So, one circle is inside the another circle, but the third circle not intersected to these circles, correct? Now, here this is a different one. The first item is completely related to the second, and the third item is partially related to the first and second. It is not completely related, partially. So, let us take an example. Dogs, animals. Okay, dogs and animals. If you take it as dogs and animals, all the dogs belongs to the animals, correct? So, dogs lies inside the animals circle, correct? But some dogs are flesh eaters, but not to all. All dogs need not to be flesh eaters. So, it's all dogs need not to be carnivorous animals, and at the same time all animals are not carnivorous animals. So, for that reason you can represent with a circle, third circle intersect with the first and second circle partially, not completely. So, you have to understand. So, after explanation of all these then you can understand what is the difference here. Now, come to the another one. So, here the first item is partially related with the second, the third is entirely different from the first two. Then I am taking the same example, but a little bit of change, a small change here. So, dogs, flesh eaters and cows. So, all the previous just now I said, so all the dogs need not to be flesh eaters. So, there is some relation, some dogs are flesh eaters and some flesh eaters are dogs. So, there is an intersection part between these two, but when you come into the cows, cows are not flesh eaters. So, simply you can represent with a different circle. So, like you have to show that some dogs are flesh eaters, but not all, while any dog or any flesh eater cannot be cow. So, clear? So, in this manner you can say. Now, so are you understand the total concept? Now, I explain all this with all possible conditions here. So, there is no relation if you come in taking with the three concepts, three things, three objects. If they are totally different, then those three are represented with three different circles which are disjoint. If the first two are interrelated completely and third is totally different, means one circle first two lies one side, first two are in concentric circle and the third one is a disjoint. If there is a relation between first, second and first and third, means they are like a, it will comes like a chain. So, I showed all the possibilities. Now, we are going to discuss the questions which are already asked in the previous examination. Then you can analyze, you can interpret how much you understand what I explained about the Venn diagram concept. Okay, let us see. Here the question is, in the following diagram, the boys who are athletic and are disciplined are indicated by which number? So, here the plane figure are here, when you observe it. So, the first one, a rectangle is given, that is boys, circle is given, those are athletics, and triangle is given, its circles, and it is a square which is disciplined, they are disciplined, but the figure is not seems to be exactly as a square, because it is an elongated figure, assume it is a square. Okay. Now, in the following diagrams, you have here the question is, the boys who are athletic and are disciplined. So, means basically they are boys, first one. Boys means, what is the thing here? The boys means it comes under the rectangle, this is the first one, this comes under the rectangle. Second, they are athletics, means it comes under the circle, correct? Okay. And the next one, they are disciplined, boys athletics. Boys means rectangle, athletics means circle, and they are disciplined. So, discipline comes under the square. So, now we have to see the number which is under rectangle, circle and a square. This is a rectangle, correct, and circle 1 is ruled out because 1 is not in the circle. Okay. 2, when you consider 2, 2 is in circle, 2 is in rectangle, 2 is in square. So, 2 is the answer, correct. Okay. Now, maybe you have doubt, if you have doubt you can check it. When you come into the other, if you take 3, so 3 is in triangle, but it is not necessary, it is a triangle means a girls. So, 3 is ruled out, and 7 is in circle and a rectangle, but not in square. So, remember 6 and 10, if you take it as 6 and 10, 6 is in rectangle, circle, but not in square, and 10 is only in rectangle. So, it is a very clear 2 is the answer, means the boys who are athletic and disciplined means here. So, the number which comes under the circle, rectangle and square. So, 2 comes under the circle, rectangle and square. So, 2 is the correct answer, clear. Like you have to observe carefully without any kind of tense, you can find the answer. It is not just only keen observation according to the given data, you have to identify the answer. Okay. Now, come to the next. In an organization of pollution control board, engineers are represented by a circle, legal experts by a square and environmentalists by a triangle. Who is the most represented in the board as shown in the following? Most represented, who occupies the maximum area, that is a very important here. So, who occupies, that is means here. So, if you take it as this one, triangle. What is triangle here? Observe it, the triangle is here, the legal experts by square, these are legal experts, and circle represented by circle, legal experts by square, engineers represented by circle and environmentalists by triangle. So, the maximum area covered is triangle and a circle. This area is a common area and maximum area for circle and triangle, which covers maximum area of it. What is the question is asked? Most represented means here the most represented means which comes under triangle and a circle. What is triangle here? Triangle means environmentalist and circle means those are engineers. So, the engineers with the environmental background or environmentalist with engineering background is the correct answer. So, here options are given here: environmentalists, legal experts, engineer with legal background, environments with engineering background. So, correct answer is environmentalist with engineering background. So, for example, what is this area? If you asked, what is this area? This area means it is a common for a circle and a square. What is square here? Simply it is given a square by legal experts, means here this is the engineers with legal background. This represents engineers with the legal background and this represents engineers with the environment background or environmentalists with engineering background. So, correct answer is D. Okay. Now, we will see the another one. In the following figure, triangle represents girls, square represents players and circle represents of course coach. Which part of the diagram represents girls who are players but not coach? Those are girls. Okay. Represents girls, square represents players and circle represents with coach. Triangle represents the girls. The question is asked, girls means triangle and who are plus players means comes under the square and but not coach. It should not comes under the circle because they are not coach. So, here when you take it as QRST is totally different because it comes under the. So, there is a possibility Q. The possibility Q belongs to triangle, belongs to square. If you consider R, it belongs to triangle, square and a coach. If you want to say what is R, for example, what is R? If you say what is R means the girls who are players and also coach. What is Q here? The girls who are players. What is S here? They are players only. What is T here? T means here what is square? The players who are coach also. Like you have to identify each one. For this question, what is the answer? Q. Means the girls who are players but not coach. Okay. Now, shifting the another one. The diagram given in the below represents those students who play cricket, football and kabaddi. It is a common thing for all. Common thing for all. So, means the number or the letter should be common for the all these rectangles. So, here very clear S is belongs to this rectangle and this rectangle. So, S is the correct answer, like you can see. So, now we will shift to the in the figure given below, square represented by doctors, triangle represents ladies and circles represent surgeon. By which letter the ladies who are doctors, surgeons both are represented. So, those means here doctors, very clear, square represent doctors, very important. The ladies who are doctors, surgeons. Okay. So, here what is the given when here it is represent doctor, it should be square and triangle represents with ladies, it should comes under triangle and circle represents the red. So, means here those are ladies, doctors or surgeons, means it is a common part for all. So, you can say T is the correct answer, like you have to follow. So, anyway, So, so study the diagram given below and answer each of the following questions. Here the question here they asked the how many persons who take tea and wine but not coffee. Persons who take tea, they have to take tea, they have to take wine but not coffee. Tea, what is tea here? Tea is simply as triangle. They have to take wine, it comes under the rectangle, these two, but they have not taken coffee. So, it comes under the triangle, comes under the rectangle, but it should not comes under the circle. So, very clear. So, you can say this 20, this 17, 30, 40. Here 20 completely rectangle. So, who takes wine only? This 40 also. This 17 on this is, so comes under the triangle and rectangle, but not in circle. So, this 17 gives the persons who take tea and wine, but not coffee. This is the answer. Okay. So, this kind of questions comes in the examination. You have to lot of to discuss. So, better to practice similar kind of questions. Definitely it helps you to do any kind of Venn diagram question. Namaste.